Hey guys, Dynasty Warrior 6 here again with another episode of a collection video. Today's collection video is going to be all my handhelds. This is kind of covering everything from Game Gear to Nintendo 3DS to PSP to Game Boy to Color to Advance, all that good stuff. So I'm going to start us off with the system, the handheld systems first, and then work into the games, just to kind of show you guys. So first up, I'm just going to start with what's closest to me right now. And that is, not that, Sega Game Gear. This is one of my kind of good handhelds I found at a flea or thrift store, but Sega Game Gear. Second up is a Game Boy Advance with a magnifier. Very nice, very cool. Okay, got the cover and everything like that. I gotta take those batteries out of there though eventually. Replace them, I think. Next up also is Game Boy Color, blue one, like aqua blue. Very nice, good one, good condition. And last but definitely not least is my PSP carrying case bundle deal. Got the whole PSP, it's the silver, it's the 3000 model. And I have it with Final Fantasy Dissidia. I'm just going to show you these games right here. Or this game right here because it's in the system right now. I'm not going to pull it back out really. And the movie Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, complete. Or no wait, just Advent Children. I thought it said complete on there. And that's it for the handheld systems. All of those are my handheld systems. I've collected over the time. The PSP I bought at full price though, very sadly. That was a very expensive purchase back in the day. But next up, we'll just jump into the games, because I know everyone always wants the games. We'll start off with Game Boy Color, just because it's a little bit smaller. First one is Tech Deck Skateboarding. Next up is Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Jim Henson's The Muppets. Harry Potter, Power Rangers Time Force. I like their intro. If you ever watched the Power Rangers intros, the Time Force one actually was kind of catchy. Madden 2002, and definitely probably one of my best Game Boy Color games is Worms Armageddon on Game Boy Color. So that's it for the Game Boy Color, guys. And then next up, I'll just jump into the older kind of stuff, the Game Boy games. This is definitely a huge chunk of my big handheld collection. First I'll show you one of my complete games, kind of complete. It's missing the cardboard I think, but it's got everything else in it. Caesar's Palace. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Stay down. And then we'll go with the loose ones. First stack is Ken Griffey Jr. Major League Baseball wearing a Seattle Mariners outfit. That proves it's back in the day. The Bugs Bunny 2 Crazy Castle, Spider-Man 3, Mortal Kombat 2 was a recent one, recent pickup on that one. I haven't played it yet, I think I played a little bit of it, just a little tiny bit. Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2, both on Game Boy. Those were definitely good pickups on that one. The next stack is Play Action Football, the Final Fantasy Legend, Tetris Plus, Metroid 2. Yeah, I still got a goog on that thing. I'm gonna set that to the side. I gotta clean that guy. I'm gonna set him over there. And 2 Tetrises. Now the funny thing is, that's why. One is a Player's Choice Award Tetris, and one is like an original Model 1 Tetris. So very cool to have kind of like both, because like this Tetris has got like highlighted writing. This one's just kind of plain, kind of bland, but Tetris. Next stack. I'll say that one for last. That's like kind of the better one. But I got baseball. Just baseball with Mario throwing the ball. Mole Mania, Alleyway with Mario and the little ship thing, Super Mario Land, Cool Spot, Super Return of the Jedi, so, yeah, Super Return of the Jedi, and DuckTales 2. I wish I had the NES version of this though, but I sadly do not. But and then the last stack of Game Boy games, of regular original Game Boy games, I have the Castlevania Adventure. I wish I could find the other. There's like 3 Game Boy games of this, of like different Castlevanias. This is like the first one, kind of the more common one. If I could find the other 2, that'd be great. Kirby's Pinball Land. I got 2 copies of Donkey Kong Land, one with a faded top, one with a perfect condition label. Donkey Kong Land 2 with a faded top, but very nice to have at least. And Donkey Kong Land 3 in really good condition. So I got all 3 of those guys, which was like really awesome to finally get all together. Next up, I'll just do the singular one. This is a Neo Geo game, Neo Geo Pocket game, I believe. It's Samurai Showdown 2. It's the only Neo Geo game I have, pocket game wise, of that kind of system. Sadly, I wish I had more, but they're kind of hard to come by here in Oregon. Next up, I'll just go with the Game Boys. Game Boy Advance. I have Namco Museum. There's the game. Here's the manuals, all that stuff, all this good stuff. Namco Museum. Pretty cool. Next up I have is Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. I didn't know if it was Return of the King or Two Towers. It's amazing. The intro to this is actually like film footage. I couldn't believe that. Like it's actually like Lord of the Rings. I was like, whoa. For a Game Boy Advance game, I was kind of surprised because I hadn't really played Game Boy Advance games before. I also have 2 copies of Advance Wars 2. Black Hole Rising, that's what it is. So 2 copies of Advance Wars 2. Golden Sun, fun game, very nice. And then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team, Pokemon Leaf Green version, and Mega Man Battleship Challenge. That's what it is, Battleship Challenge. This is a recent acquisition one. So there we go on the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy games, all that stuff. So next up, I'm going to jump with kind of still the older generation, is Game Gear. I'll do the box one first. Star Trek The Next Generation. This thing is utterly complete, which is real nice. It's definitely one of my rarest Game Gear games, just rarest one. And then I have 2 copies of Sonic Chaos and then Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I am looking for like Sonic Labyrinth and like the 4th Sonic Game Gear game, trying to get those Game Gear games to complete my Game Gear, like my Sonic Game Gear collection. Still looking for those. They're Game Gear games, as I've said before, are kind of rare here in Oregon. So next up, I'll go with the singular one. I have a Nintendo 3DS Samurai Warriors Chronicles, still sealed. I don't have a 3DS just yet, as you guys saw with my systems. I am working towards getting a 3DS someday. So right now I'm just leaving this game sealed till I do. I even saw the clearance price. I paid for it. Sticker's still on there. I should probably try to get that off one day. But yeah, this thing is still brand new sealed. So until I get a 3DS, it's going to stay sealed. So there we go on that. And the last stack is my PSP games. First one, I try to get them with cases all the time, but this one I just don't currently because it was in a game that shouldn't have been in that game, but it was an odd game thing, kind of weird. Tony Hawk's Project 8. Jeez Louise, that writing was tiny. And I wear glasses, damn it, for a reason. Next up, of course, big Metal Gear fan, Metal Gear Acid 1. I made certain that this one is complete with the regular game in it. But Metal Gear Acid 1. Metal Gear Acid 2, this is a game that I screwed up on a long time ago, but now I finally got Metal Gear Acid 2 in it, so there we go. Mortal Kombat Unchained, I believe I picked this up Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think it was at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, but I might be wrong on that. I might have gotten it at a pawn shop too. It's hard to remember these days. I'm getting too old for this. Kidding, kidding, kidding. Next up, which is highly recommended. I recommend this game to anybody as well. It came from Canman Jason. He recommended this. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII. It is an awesome game. I love the battle scenes between Sephiroth and Geo and Genesis. Great game. If you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, you definitely have to have played this one. Highly recommend it. And the last handheld game of my entire collection, this was given to me by, I think I traded, or it was given to me by Dr. Reaper Zero. He gave me Dynasty Warriors on PSP. I still am missing like 3 or 4 other ones, but they're like really kind of hard to find on PSP sometimes. This one's the more common with God Ning on the front, but there's some guys out there that are really tough to pick up and find. So Dr. Reaper Zero gave this to me though, or traded. I can't remember exactly what, but that's where I got that. So those are my PSP games, all my handheld games. This is it. It's grown. It's amazing when I put it away because it doesn't look like it's grown that much, but pulling it out and actually looking at it. Holy cow, my handheld collection has grown very large. It is just from persistence. I just buy handheld games when I see them and if I like them. If I like when I saw DuckTales 2 at like in a Goodwill one time for like $2. And I'll just pick them up if I have spare change. Like I don't really go out looking for handhelds all that much, but they just fall into my lap. Especially if there's like really good deals. Like the Mega Mans were really a good deal. I was really excited to get these. So that's it, guys. That's my video for my handheld collection. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's nowhere near the Lunar. I still can't get over it. But, yep, this is my handheld collection. Thanks for tuning in. I will try to do an updated collection video on PS2, I think I'm going to try. I'm going to try to aim for that one. That one's definitely gotten larger from what I've seen, from what I've when I looked at it last. It's definitely a lot larger than it used to be. So I'm thinking about doing that one next. If anyone's got suggestions of what collection I should do next, I'm totally open to it. Definitely leave a comment of what you think. If you think I should do something else, definitely say something. But if not, if no one's got, I'll just do PS2. But I will see you guys in a couple days. It's not gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm really tired. I'm working real hard right now. They're kicking our butts since the 3-day weekend. So I will talk to you guys later, and hopefully you have a great week.